Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the Honest Analysis series. Well, this is a series that you guys requested me many different tokens, many different cryptos. I look through the ones that I think are super interesting, and I give you an honest analysis on it based off of how I feel, what I think it's going to do, and what I will be doing with it personally, whether or not I will be buying, selling, or maybe something in the middle where I do a little trading on it. So, with that being said, that is exactly what we are doing today, and we will be talking about the most requested coin to ever be on my channel, and that is going to be Slam token. Many of you guys are super duper excited about this. Many of you guys are very interested in it, and so with that being said, of course, I will bring you the information in which you are looking for. Now, I do want to remind you, this is just me giving my honest opinion on this. I am just the messenger of the information in which you're looking for, and none of this should be taken as financial, financial advice or financial education, anything like that. Just simply me giving you a source for all the information that you are looking for. Now, I will let you all know, if you want access to every single trade that I make personally, if you want access to my trade portfolios, as well as early access to these videos and the research that I do for these videos, go down to the link in the description. It'll bring you over to my Patreon. As you can see here, the bronze and the bronze early and the bronze are both completely sold out, but we do still have the silver tiers, and we have a few more tiers under that, so definitely go check it out. These will get you access to all my research, and with that, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone involved. Also, if you are looking to expand out into a new brokerage or start your own investment journey, I highly recommend using the referral link down below. It'll bring you over to Webull, and whenever you deposit $100, you will get 2 free stocks valued all the way up to $1,850. But with that being said, let's go ahead, let's jump over to it, and let us see what Slam token is all about. So Slam token brands themselves as the only casino with a negative house edge. Now, I know many of you may have heard of things such as Crash and many of these other crypto gambling websites or platforms, and they have been growing in popularity quite substantially. Matter of fact, when we just talk about the growth that they have seen, it says here that the cryptocurrency-based gambling market has recorded a stable growth in the last few years, and professionals have assessed that gambling focused on cryptocurrencies command an aggregate value of more than 150 million. The market survey also disclosed that the crypto-based transactional volume per day surpassed 3 million, while the count of players who prefer to use blockchain casinos has exceeded 30,000 on a per week basis. So as we can see here, I mean, it is growing pretty substantially, and there's a lot of people who are actually jumping over to this, and I think going forward that this is actually going to have its spot within the gambling industry within itself. Now, Slam token itself is the governance token of the gambling ecosystem of Slam. It is a deflationary token that distributes rewards to its holders for holding Slam in their wallets. So whenever you do go ahead and you buy your Slam token, that is actually going to be the token that is used, and it is going to be the native cryptocurrency of the Slam token casino itself. Now, the provably fair algorithm and negative house edge puts the odds in our holders' favor. Only Slam can be used in the casino. Liquidity generation of Slam bankroll will be secured through the contract. With each transaction, there is a 10% transaction fee. Half of the transaction fee will be distributed among Slam holders, and the remaining 5% of the transaction fee will be locked to be spent into the liquidity pool, which helps create a more stable and secure trading environment that the community will be able to preserve. So, of course, this is something that we have seen quite often recently. You know, a lot more transaction fees, but a lot of that is okay because it will be distributed amongst holders, and then we will see the other half go to make sure that the liquidity is where it needs to be. So whenever it comes to the casino itself, how does this work and how can you play? How does the casino work? First, you need to swap BNB for Slam tokens on PancakeSwap. Once you have Slam tokens in your MetaMask wallet, you then need to visit our website and click play. On the right hand of the screen, you will see the connect button, which you will use to connect your MetaMask account to be able to instantly play in the casino. Your Slam tokens will be automatically show up under your account, meaning you are ready to roll. Now, we'll actually play a little bit of the demo in a second here whenever we get towards the end of the video, so check that out because I'll probably lose. The negative house edge is a feature which you haven't seen anywhere else before. It puts the odds in your favor by giving you clear mathematical advantage over the house. To put in numbers, a roulette table at a regular casino will have a 5.26% house edge over you. So it's realistically not 50-50. Another example from the crypto world would be the use of moderate 1 to 2% house edge for the Bitcoin crash games. Slam clearly stands out with a unique algorithm that makes it easier for you to win. We've been working for a long time to get ready to launch Slam token in our casino platform, and of course we'll be adding new games to the casino as we cruise through the next couple of weeks, so always be on the lookout at our Telegram channel or Twitter. So now, many of you may be asking, how in the world can they sustain this going forward with, having a negative house advantage? Well, it says here that a lot of tokens are doing giveaways or airdrops for marketing and awareness. Our significance, which is the negative house edge, separates us from the rest. It is our biggest marketing power. Also, it's the heart of our business, which is putting our community before anything else. Our casino will win or lose occasionally. Mathematically, in the long run, it will lose more than it wins. But our contract is structured to keep token flow coming for the casino. Also, we have maximum withdrawal limits a day to be able to manage the in and out token flow, meaning the bankroll won't won't go bankrupt, creating an environment that favors the players but also sustains itself. And so I think that's super duper interesting. As there are transactions, it allows it to be, basically replaced back into the casino. And so people were saying, oh, it's infinite money. I wouldn't go that far to say that. There's definitely going to be some times where I'm sure that they're going to have to, make some different alterations to be able to sustain this. But overall, it's interesting. And I think the structure of it is interesting for sure. Now, the only issue I have with this is that, I do believe like a lot of tokens are doing giveaway or airdrops for marketing and awareness. And that's typically something we see more in the beginning of a project. And I think that's fine. Right now, Slam Token, they're using the negative house advantage to be able to use it as a marketing tool, right? But I think that if this was to just absolutely blow up, absolutely go super duper massive, that we would definitely have to monitor exactly how they're capable of sustaining that, because at that point, I feel as if they would definitely be losing a little bit more than they would be gaining, right? I think that mathematical, function within itself of having a negative house advantage could definitely struggle to be sustainable if they end up just one day being millions and millions of users. So I think that's something that needs to be closely monitored, but at the end of the day, if they put it together, they probably know the math a little bit better than I do. But just to me personally, that's something that I would keep an eye on, at least for sure. Now, one thing I do want to point out before we do go into like the tokenomics and how many different coins they have and everything like that is this here, because this is something that needs to be monitored, and I would love for them to clarify. If the bankroll goes below a certain amount due to the players winning, house edge will be adjusted accordingly until the bankroll's liquidity reaches a stable level. So that's something that I would pay attention to, because that is it's not necessarily a red flag, but it's something that I would love for them to clarify on. Up to what extent are you going to be able to, change the house's edge? Is this at some point not going to be a negative house edge until you can reacquire the liquidity in which you need? Is that something you're going to do? Because at that point, it kind of becomes, oh, well, your marketing is at a negative house edge, or is it, in the other side, like, are you going to tell everyone whenever you adjust the house's edge? Or are you just going to slowly do it? You're going to bump it up just a little bit, have a few more wins, and then lower it back down. Because at that point, there's just some manipulation going on there, right? Because whenever we think of roulette tables, whenever we think of those, it's pretty set in stone. Like, what your odds are, your odds are. You sit at that thing knowing what your odds are. And so with that, if you're going to brand yourself as saying, oh, this is what the house edge is, but then you're going to say, well, if our liquidity goes down too much because players are winning too much, then we're going to have to change that. Well, of course, if people are going to win a lot, it's a negative house edge, right? So that's a big, weird moment for me, and I think going forward it'd be super important for them to kind of clarify exactly what that does entail, because I think that could definitely have a lot of benefit for people to understand what exactly that means. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look at just some of the different tokenomics just to get an idea of what this thing is doing. Now, I must say that I actually do like the fact that they didn't go for the 100 quadrillion tokens originally. I think that this is actually beneficial. They went ahead and they only released 1 trillion, which I think makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now, the tokens for pre-sale was at 300 billion. The locked LP tokens was at 225 billion. And then the burn wallet, or the initial burn, is going to be at 125 billion, with the manual burn being at 120 billion. So there's not some insanely, ridiculously high amount that's going to take absolutely forever to burn, or that they would need a super high amount of transactions to burn. I think that's a manageable amount. And as they do slowly lower it down, that will allow the price to grow if, if the volume does stay steady and people do stay interested, of course. Now, whenever it comes to just some of the different development, marketing, and team tokens, the dev wallet has 25 billion, the marketing wallet has 24 billion, and the team wallet has 25 billion. So total right around 75 billion. So, that's still a good bit, I know a lot of people do get nervous, like, oh, what if it's a rug pull, this, that. It's not, a dramatic amount, but I definitely do think, that's a good bit. But if they do use the marketing wallet and able to bring more people in, and then the dev, of course, it's the dev, and then the team wallet, if they're using that to pay out, okay, fine. But, I typically do prefer some of those ones where the team doesn't take an insane amount. And I would say that almost, about 7.5% of the total supply of tokens isn't too much of an insane amount. So I'm not too worried about it. But of course, we just got to be careful. Okay. At the end of the day, all of these are super risky. And if they were to sell all of those tokens at once, of course, that would be very horrific for the overall price of Slam, right? Now, just going forward, what exactly can we expect, and how are they going to be, handling all of the different percentages with the burn and everything like that? Well, total of 225 billion tokens will be burned from the supply. Right after the pre-sale, 125 billion tokens in total will be burned instantly. After that, a total of 120 billion tokens will be burned manually during the 7 cycles of community milestones decided on our social media. Gradual burning cycles will allow for price to increase at a stable rate, provide liquidity, and of course celebrate holders' milestones. 15% of the total supply will be allocated and locked for the casino bankroll, and it will be partially unlocked every 7 days. If the bankroll goes below a certain amount of the players winning, new tokens will be unlocked from this wallet to meet demand for withdrawals. So I do understand that. I mean, that's one thing, of course, we just need to pay attention to, the fact that they are going to be partially unlocking this every now and then, and make sure that they are doing with it as they do say. We have no reason right now to believe that they won't, but of course, we always just have to be cautious, and I am the guy who will tell you all of the good things and all of the red flags as well. So that's kind of just my mission here, just to give my honest opinion about it. So overall, they've done great. Next up, we can expect a coin market listing coming soon, hopefully, which would be nice, and then to get listed on a few decentralized exchanges. So this is super interesting. Okay, I think the fact that this is a casino that is going to actually be backed by its own token is something new. I think the fact that they will be able to sustain a negative house edge by of course having their own token that'll be replaced back into supply with every transaction, I think that will allow them to continue to do that as long as the math does add up. One thing again I do want to talk about, and I just want to pay very close attention to, and I would love for the Slam token team to kind of clarify or elaborate on, is how much they're going to be changing the house edge dependent on what the liquidity is, right? Because at that point we have to understand, like, yeah, I understand, like, it's a negative house edge, so if you have to raise it up a little bit, fine, but to what extent are you going to raise it, right? And will you tell people that you're raising it? Because that's only fair in a sense, right? Of course, these type of tokens that are this new are always super duper risky. We definitely have to pay close attention to what all is going on. We have to follow their updates, and we have to make sure the things that they're saying should be happening are happening. What I think for Slam token would be a great thing coming forward is if they could get some type of audits going in where some of these different, maybe like Certic or some of these other auditing companies can go in and say, hey, what exactly is this? Let's figure all of this out, and then let us know what errors there are. Are there any flags? Are there any critical threats? Are there anything in here that they could either fix to make it better, or things they can't fix or won't fix that we need to pay close attention to? That's what I would like for them coming up, just to add some more clarity. This isn't a team who's actually doxed themselves. We don't know who's running this, but I will say, since this is a token with a lot of usage and that they have already done a lot, I'm not too stressed about it, right? When I get stressed out is whenever there's a company or crypto that we don't know what is going on behind the scenes, and we don't know who's running it behind the scenes, but the price is just going up, because that smells like rug pull, right? Then once we start to know what's going on behind the scenes, and then at that point, knowing who is running it isn't that much of a big deal, just because we do know something is happening back there, right? So with that being said, I'm not too worried about that with Slam token. We can go ahead and we can take a quick look at the charts just to get an idea. So what I will say is that this thing has been on a pretty gradual decline over the last couple days, as many of the recent altcoins have been. Now I do think that this could be a good level. Maybe what I'm personally going to do is, I think as this casino space and the crypto gambling community and industry, as it is growing a lot, as people are getting excited about it, I think that tokens like Slam have some potential to actually see some growth. I think the fact that they don't have a crazy amount of tokens within their supply is definitely a good thing. I think that is going to allow the price to see some healthy increase at some point soon here. I think they're kind of coming back down to a realistic market cap. I mean, 4 million right now, based off the numbers that they released, it's still kind of high. And so I think that if the thing does continue to come down, that we could see a realistic valuation for the company itself. And then as people do get more notice of it, as they do increase their marketing campaign, as people do start to understand what the capabilities are, plus the marketing or the crypto gambling industry itself growing, I think Slam has a good chance to see maybe a little bit of success. So personally speaking, I'm going to put less than 1% of all of my available cash into Slam. It's going to be a very low amount, maybe like 0.25 to 0.50%. I'm just going to put a very, very tiny amount of money into them just to kind of see what happens with it. It's one of those for me. Typically you guys know I won't just do that. I won't put money into something if I don't think there's potential there. In this one, I think there's potential, but I think there's many more steps that they need to be taken. And I think that security wise, that they definitely do need to add more things and elaborate on a few more things before I feel confident actually putting any type of substantial amount of dollars into them whatsoever. So with that being said, that is kind of just my opinion right now. I think could be a good buying opportunity if I was going to do that, just because I'm personally expecting this thing to probably fall back down towards this 4157 level. So there is still a good amount of fall coming. This thing has been reacting to Fibonacci levels very, very strongly. As we could see on its retracement, it did react to that 61.8% level lows and lows. I mean, it basically fell to that thing, maintained it, but then we did see it break that support level. And so my assumption is that it will retest this 78% retracement. And if that is the case, if we do see some type of consolidation there, I'd probably put in just a little bit just to kind of see what happens. Maybe if I decided that I wanted to trade it, maybe I could try to see if it's going to bounce off that 78% retracement and maybe retest 61% as resistance. We'll kind of see exactly what it does. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure I will put a little bit in if we do see it either start to retest these levels and maintain, or if we see it find consolidation amongst that 78% level. So now we will go ahead. I'm going to put I'm not money right now. I'm just going to play the little demo version just to kind of show you guys how it works, and then we'll wrap this video up as I know it is getting pretty long here. So basically the way this thing is going to work is you press place a bet, and this thing basically just starts counting. Now, what this number is the amount that your deposit is going to multiply by. So if you put $1 million in, it multiplies by 8 times, then that means you got $8 million back. Now, hypothetically, I do believe, or just kind of my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if the demo does have just a little bit of an extra, few times that we see this thing really run. I'd be pretty surprised if that's not the case. But with that, it's just going to be fun to kind of see what happens. So I'm going to be putting a hypothetical 1 million SLAM tokens into it, and let's see where this thing goes. So you can click cash out at any given time. So say right now my 1 million is now 1.5 million, and it continues to go on and on and on. So say now maybe if I just want to try to double it, oh, there we go. Took my 2.25 or my 2.15, so I made 2.1 million SLAM tokens off that 1 million, and I can kind of go forward. I think it's interesting. I think if maybe you're kind of upset that you lost some money with another crypto, you want to transfer it over to SLAM token and just YOLO it and see what happens. I could see a lot of people doing that because this space is full of people who are risk takers. And so with that, I'd be interested to see where it goes. But with that being said, that is about it for today's video. I didn't want to make it too long, and I did exactly that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it up right here. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. And just remember, these are super risky. There's so many different things that could happen with this token right now. It could continue to fall, or it could be some type of big scam event thing. I don't honestly think it's going to be any type of major scam, but you really never know when they're this early on. Be aware, don't put any money into this that you're afraid to lose. Make sure you make the right investment decisions, understand your risk management, and have a strategy with these. Again, I'm just a messenger. I'm bringing you guys the information that you want, so don't come at me too crazy if maybe you lose a little bit in the SLAM token casino, right? But with that being said, you guys know the drill. I post on this channel 2 to 3 times every single day, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace.